name's Virgin, where each and every week my friends Alan and Adam recount Bible stories from their childhood to me. I've never heard them before. My name's Nick.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Nick's friend Adam.
Do you need a do-over?
Nope, I got it.
Great.
And I'm Adam. I realized I should give myself an out just in case. And I'm Adam.
Why don't you take that one more time?
Yeah. I'm good. One of those will work. And I'm Adam.
Hi, Adam.
That sounded like an NPR.
And I'm Adam.
Hey, Alan. You just got back from Las Vegas.
We don't need to talk about that.
Sin City, though. I want to talk about it. Because we haven't covered sin on this program.
That is fair. And I did bring not one, but two giant books about the Bible.
That's fun.
With me to Sin City.
Were you able to defeat any of the sin with them?
Yeah, physically with like a brick.
Great.
Just hitting the sin.
I also feel like Vegas is weirdly popular with Christians too.
Mostly I just gave myself a crick on the neck on the airplane trying to read a heavy book. Because you can't like hold it in front of your face.
Yeah.
God, I want to.
And people saw you doing it.
I was going to say, I'd love to hear what people are thinking.
It just says Bible in giant letters on one of them. Oh, the other one says Satan. So that's fun. So people could really go either way. I took Bible books. I didn't actually bring a Bible, though. I took books about the Bible, which I feel is worse.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
They were scholarly.
Cool.
Yeah.
So today we're doing Moses, part 2.
Electric Boogaloo. I keep saying that. I don't fucking know what the reference is. What is Electric Boogaloo from?
That's from Breakin'. Breakin' 2 was Electric Boogaloo.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to say this is Moses, part 2, a.k.a. our Halloween episode. Spooky.
See, now here's another podcast trope. We were just discussing dumb podcasts like ours before we started recording.
Yeah.
I feel like every podcast feels very obligated to ham up the Halloween thing.
It's true.
And we are no exception.
Maybe we should do a Columbus Day. That's popular now, right? Columbus is popular. He's back being popular.
I would say that our
canceled.
I would say that our Halloween episode. Oh my God. I mean, Adam's the one who has to edit this bullshit. So our Halloween episode is more of the, let's see, if it were like a Halloween movie trope, it would be more like a 70s
slasher. It's like a gory slasher.
Cool.
Yeah.
These Hills Have Eyes, kind of like a...
No. I would say it's like, it's paced. It has good plotting.
Does it though?
Yeah, sure. There's like axe.
Sure.
It's good.
A stick becomes a snake several times.
And now are we at old Moses? Are we at the Moses that I'm more familiar with?
Grown Moses. No white beard.
Okay.
We're literally just post Burning Bush.
Okay.
Moses.
All right.
He's married. His wife apparently
threw foreskins at him.
Yeah, threw foreskins at God so that he wouldn't kill.
I've done more research about that, and I have no idea.
You're more confused by it.
It's worse. So we go back. He gets his brother Aaron. Tearful reunion because I assume his brother Aaron is.
I was going to recap
Egypt.
that. I was going to recap that a little bit because I felt like he goes to Aaron because he basically tells God like, I know good with words, and God goes, well, then get your brother to do the speaking, and you just like do the magic.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Aaron.
He needs a hype man.
Right. Exactly. And Aaron goes, prove that you're actually here. So Moses literally does the same two, like, what do you call them? The tricks where he like throws a stick on the ground, becomes a snake, grabs a snake by the tail, becomes a stick.
Adam, they are not tricks. They're illusions.
They are illusions. Exactly. This might actually be a trick.
Okay.
I feel like illusion implies that it's not real. This is real. This is real ass magic.
I'm trying to look in the Bible what they call it. They call it Aaron's miraculous rod, which is fun.
Oh man,
that's an entirely different situation.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's Aaron's rod?
They call them miracles. Well, so Moses not talk so good, so he shows Aaron how to do his
So Aaron
miracles.
does the rod
Correct.
bit. And then does Moses do the leprosy? So hold on. So is this whole entire time that they go to talk to Pharaoh, Aaron is doing all the talking, Moses just standing in the back like with his arms crossed?
Correct. Moses got him in because he is like
Moses.
He's the son of a princess.
Yeah.
Adopted son of a princess, which is why they got the pass to go in.
Right.
They never talk about what happened to his princess mom.
Well, she was clearly barren, so she's useless.
Who knows?
I'm
anyway,
sensing some apocrypha stories in there.
Probably.
Let's get into this story a little more. So he's met up with Aaron and they go to see Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And the first thing he does is just say, hey, let my people go.
Which
And actually,
you're going to get used to. This phrase comes up.
I'm already used to it. It hits me already like,
let my people go.
Yep.
I feel like everybody's heard Charlton Heston.
But so this kind of surprised me because I remember, like in my mind, Moses, not Aaron, goes in and does the let my people go. And immediately it's like plague.
Yeah.
But no, they specifically ask, let my people go that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness. It's not like go.
Give them a day off.
Right. And so this is the point, which this kind of makes sense. This is the point where Pharaoh's like, I don't know your God. Like, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
And
nice.
And starts like doubling down on treating his slaves like shit.
Like things get worse.
Yeah. Do you remember how they get worse?
No.
Because I did not either.
No. I mean,
they start pulling them. They start elongating them on that rack thing.
Yes.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh, come on.
I was with you.
So the Israelites are making bricks.
Right.
Pharaoh's sort of
for the pyramids.
Right. Among other things. So Pharaoh's sort of ingenious way of making their lives harder was, you guys have to make the same amount of bricks, but I'm not going to give you straw anymore. Now you have to find your own straw to make my bricks, but I expect you to make as many.
That's a dick move.
I was like, that is sort of actually cruel.
Yeah.
So now
and
they're
presumably not actually like it's not helping his productivity really any.
It's
like it's not like make more bricks, do this faster.
Right. It also seems like the quality of the brick would inherently go down just
well, people are spitting in the bricks at that point because like
so here you go in the footnotes.
Yeah.
How they try to justify everything. It says archaeological excavations have shown a difference in the bricks used in the buildings in Northeast Egypt.
Oh, wow.
As the buildings went up, less and less straw was used.
Oh, fuck that.
Wow.
I mean, I have no way to disprove that.
Right, but like
either.
And hearing it for the first time, I believe it.
Fine.
All right. Even though it doesn't seem like there's a lot of record that the Israelites were ever even in Egypt.
Well, a footnote is good enough for me.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you, Study Bible. So that's something that happened before, plague, is he made their lives harder and turned the Israelites kind of against Aaron and Moses. So Moses went back to God and was like, hey, so that didn't go well. What's your idea now? Oh my God. And then they go through Aaron's genealogy for no fucking reason.
Because
I think it's just
the Bible
trace him.
The Bible loves genealogy.
They just like take a random chapter to trace him all the way back to Levi. Just
Everybody's been
so he's important.
Wondering when we're going to get to one of those hot begat episodes where Adam just begats for half an hour.
I will never begat.
There's a lot of begatting here.
It is a little strange on how obsessed with genealogy the Bible authors seem to be.
Well, it makes it seem firmly rooted in history. I feel like that's their like defense, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just, well, how
Here
could you deny this massive family tree?
And then at the end of that genealogy chapter, we get their ages, which is kind of fun.
Oh.
Any guesses as to how old Moses was at this point?
I feel like 40 stuck out in my brain, but that might just because it's a biblical number.
I'm going older. I'm going 70.
All right.
And Moses was 80 years old.
Yes.
All right.
It's double 40.
Right.
He was probably 40.
I'm going on
like
stage to play Plinko.
Burning Bush or something. That seems old.
Well, Burning Bush was like a year before, or like barely.
Well, we don't know that. God was pissed. Bushes were burned. Dicks were cut.
That's
we don't know how long it was.
I thought it was pretty. Like he went right after that. Is that not true?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's the Bible. None of this is true.
Right.
And so now we are at Aaron's miraculous rod.
Right. So Aaron, apparently not Moses, has been taught these illusions that Moses had.
Miracles.
And he then proceeds to throw the snake down, pick it up, or throw the stick down, become a snake, grab the snake, becomes a rod.
Yep.
Sticks his hand inside his
leper hand.
Leper hand back in.
Which leper hand's not here. That was only in the God proving to them.
So it's only so Pharaoh's apparently a better audience. Like, oh, snake. All right.
We just have snake stick here.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh's not impressed. So I don't know why they didn't go leper hand.
Yeah, they did. That feels like they skipped the prestige.
I think they got kind of like
nervous and just jumped to the big guns. So,
I forgot about this bit though. Do you remember when the magicians whip out their snake rods?
Yeah, that's right. And so basically, if I remember right, the Bible actually says they literally duplicate the exact same thing.
The magicians.
The magicians in the court. In the animated things that we would watch, it would be like they would throw a stick down and another magician would kick a basket with a snake in it and the snake would come rolling out. You know, like that idea. Or like it would be like one of those fake
Not
things
in the
from-
Bible.
No, it's
Right,
not in the
right,
Bible.
right,
Like
yeah.
the Bible actually is like they were fucking magicians as well doing snake magic.
Well, I want to
Do
know
you
more
remember the
about.
end?
Oh yeah, and then Aaron throws his rod down and his snake eats all the other snakes.
Yeah.
So then presumably he picks it up and like I'm assuming the stick is like
just kind of
10
like
times
a
heavier.
tree.
Yeah, it's like- just denser.
It actually doesn't say. It just says, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, which
That's
sounds like some slash fic.
it
But,
is a little
But now we're at
plagues.
well, it said and this is another phrase. So there's a lot of let my people go.
Yes.
Pharaoh,
But then
let my
there's
people-
also a lot of and Pharaoh's heart grew hard.
Ooh, such slash
Not
fic.
just his heart though, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this? I feel like I remember being confused. Like, isn't there somewhere where God hardened Pharaoh's heart?
Correct.
And it's like when you start hearing this, like, wait, so like Pharaoh might have just let them go, but God, it feels like God's forcing a fight here where there was no fight.
It's like
necessarily.
Calvinism.
Yeah, I was
Like,
just
it
gonna
need-
say,
it
no
needs
free
to
will,
play
baby.
out. Yeah. It needs to play out how God wants it to play out.
So anyway, Pharaoh's like, no. So Aaron, presumably, because Moses is just fucking off in the back of the room, not talking.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, so we're going to visit a plague on Egypt. And the first plague is going to be, oh, did you want to ask Nick if he can
This is a
guess?
good point. Yeah, Nick. So there are 10 plagues.
10
Do you
of different things.
do you all different
3 of them are
things?
identical.
Okay.
Do you
to
want to
me.
guess what any of the plagues are?
Okay, locusts have to be in there.
Okay.
Okay, nailed it.
Well, are they all things like
No.
is like famine count? Like, is that a
Be more specific.
Yeah, that's like an effect.
okay? What about frogs? Is there frogs?
Totally.
Yeah.
Fucking frogs.
Just to clarify, no one fucks the frogs that we are aware of in the biblical text.
Sure. Right. We don't know what the wizards were doing though.
I mean, they lost their snakes. They had to do
What,
something.
snakes?
No
No.
snakes.
Oh, come on.
That would have been a much better plague than some of these.
Fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Number 7.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Translation.
Okay, half
a lot-
point.
No,
Okay.
that's the thing. That's why it should be the ultimate. Well, the second ultimate. I think the ultimate is the ultimate. But like numbers 8 and 9 are bullshit.
Correct. 7 is a lot bigger than 8 and 9. But a lot of these, they're like, well, I'm just going to use an example. They're like, well, in the Hebrew, it could be horses.
Oh, sure.
But it also could be small stones.
Yeah.
You know, it's like stuff like that. You're
Hold
like,
on.
oh, thank you for being specific.
Yeah, like of those two things, if either of them were falling out of the sky,
Yeah.
horses is a bigger deal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, if it's all based strictly on things falling out of the sky.
30 small pebbles fell on my house. 30 horses fell on my house.
Right. That's really all I can come up with.
I mean, I really applaud
And I was really just making up. I mean, the locusts I felt pretty good about.
And frogs,
frogs,
is
though.
kind of
That's great.
That's since Magnolia.
Frogs is number 2.
a lot of people know that because of Magnolia.
Yeah, right.
The
And
movie.
I would say locust is number 8.
Well, let's.
So number 1, Adam.
Number 1, the Nile turns to blood.
Very cool.
Are you like confident on all 10 of these in order?
No, that one I am.
Okay,
'Cause I know
all
the
right.
first one is blood.
I'm not going to make you get these in order until the last bits.
I'm going to.
Number 10 I know for sure, and number 7 I know for sure.
So, do you remember any like sticking points on the bloody Nile? There's a few details that I think are fun.
Yeah, basically the idea is that nobody can drink it.
Well,
That's a big deal.
Sure.
But like that also feels like a given.
But even the water they have stored in
Right,
their
it's
houses.
all natural, all water.
Okay.
Is turned to blood.
Do you remember the time period?
A
of
week?
This? A week.
Is
Good
it 7
job.
days?
It is 7 days.
Okay.
Of no water.
People
Seems
died.
Implausible.
Lots of people died. Like everybody died.
yeah. Okay.
So and then number 2.
Some biblical scholars also think it may have just been some like red dirt in the river.
Oh, that
Made
sucks.
it harder to drink.
Great.
More plausible.
More plausible, but also if none of this happened,
Aaron and Moses all night just like kicking
shoving
dirt in the river.
upstream, just like. But then they go in between each one, right? And they're like,
So every time they go back to Pharaoh,
Sure.
like, let my people go. No,
Heart
Next
gets harder.
Yep.
yep,
Okay.
just so hard.
His
Yeah.
heart and his rod get harder.
Okay.
And second one I feel like is
Frogs.
It's frogs. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the third one, I know what the third one is. Okay, so frogs are
Falling out of the
fucking falling from the sky, like Magnolia. Or Robin Williams has a whole bit where it's like maybe frogs fell from God, or maybe there was a bunch of Israelites with catapults chucking frogs, which I thought was a funny image. So I thought I'd bring it up. But anyway, frogs fall, and now just everything's covered in frogs.
Which Pharaoh freaks out about and is like, dude, okay, you can go make these frogs go away.
And he changed his mind, right?
Aaron and Moses make the frogs go away. And he's like, well, that was easy. No, you can't go.
Ooh.
And that happens
Most of the
kind of
time.
more times than it should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they are a little naive about the whole situation. They're like, oh, we can go. Oh, we can't. Oh, we can go. Oh, we can't.
Totally.
So yeah, Pharaoh, let my people go. And then it's like mosquitoes.
So that's one of the fun translation issues. So this Bible says lice,
Oh,
but it also
not good.
it admits it could be ticks, lice, gnats, or mosquitoes.
None of those are good.
The plague is a lot of one of those. Pick one.
So
I picked gnats.
yeah, mosquitoes that whine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but gnats are no, I picked gnats as being the least bad.
Oh,
I was totally going to say gnats. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if I have to pick like one of those translation
right.
errors, plague
gnats,
gnats.
please.
Are horses on the menu for that one?
Gnats, please.
So again, let my people go. Gnats disappear. No, you can't go.
Just kidding.
I will say at the end of this one,
JK.
Pharaoh's magicians are like, dude, this
This
is
is bad.
pretty legit. The
All right.
finger of God. Each chapter ends with a pretty fun, either
Finger of
Pharaoh
God.
getting really hard or the finger of God. So
It's like a prostate exam.
do you remember the fourth plague?
No.
I'm just going to say it's the same.
Flies?
It's flies.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said. Oh, right. So like three of them are essentially the same thing. Flies, gross. That ends.
Sure.
Same thing. Rinse, repeat. We'll move on. The next one is livestock.
Though at the end of flies, Pharaoh or Aaron and Moses are like, "But don't you trick us this time!"
Uh-huh.
Really?
And then he does.
So then they come in, and it's livestock is next. Yes.
Correct.
So livestock.
Wow, really nailing it.
Why?
They really should have gotten like a written agreement before they cleaned it up at this point. I mean, what, 4?
Yeah, I know,
Let's
right? 5. No, we're at 5. So this is
cut
number
the shit. Like,
right.
write it down. Then I'll get the flies out of
Here's
here.
the thing: the good stuff happens in the back end. So I feel a little bit like they were like, let's see if we can keep them going.
Yeah.
Just because like most of these are dumb. Number 5, all of the Egyptian, not the Israelites, all the Egyptian livestock die, like get sick and die essentially. But the Israelites ones are fine.
And I believe that also starts with the flies. I think, without rereading it, I'm pretty sure the flies are the first one that only happened to the. Yes, the flies are the first plague that only happens to the Egyptians.
Oh,
The people in Goshen are fine.
they're fine. Which
So yeah,
makes sense in this world.
so number 5.
Number 6 is
Livestock.
locust.
6 were into fun ones. Boils.
Oh yeah, boils.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Covered in.
That's totally like flies. Come on, boils.
That's nasty.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
I do remember like the animation on these ones are great. Like people waking up going, ah.
It's surprisingly disgusting.
Yeah. So then this is where I think
I do like there's a little bit of fanfare with the boils. Moses and Aaron are going around like throwing ash into the sky.
oh right, because theoretically anywhere the ash touches, people would that's where the
And
boils
it
would
becomes
come.
boils.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that
I do
one's,
like that image.
that one's got some fun like
Visual.
ribbon on a stick dancing sort of stuff.
Or it's like those color parades where like people are running.
Oh,
color runs.
yeah.
Fun runs.
Fun
Yeah.
runs, yeah. So then again, rinse and repeat. Pharaoh says, please just get rid of the boils. You can go. Boils disappear. Nah, I gotta stay. So they come back and say, all right, fine. This one's a big one. It's going to be hail and fire falling from heaven.
Ooh.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, so fire and
ice.
hail, literally just like, yes, fire and ice. Just like, to me, that's a fucking apocalyptic,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
I mean, technically, Moses only warned of hail, and then it is
Fire just
and then
comes
it's
bonus.
hail and fire.
Hail's coming. Plus, it's and he's bringing I don't know what other element he's bringing.
right. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that Pharaoh should have been like, "Hey, listen,
You said,
if I had known, this is you tricking me."
how did I become the bad guy in this situation? So again, seriously, at that point, I would have let him go.
I can't get over how exhausting it is that they just like the reason that this keeps happening is
know.
because they get like that's so like I like the well, whatever. I'm not going to critique the story.
Right.
Go on.
But it does feel a little bit like at number 4, they're like, he's done this a couple times. Do you think he's going to renege on this promise?
So verse 27, and Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said to them, I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous and my people and I are wicked. Anyway, get rid of this and I'll be blah, 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 blah. 20 verses later. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain, the hail, and the thunder had ceased, he sinned yet more. And he hardened his heart, he and his servants.
He sinned yet
like,
more.
No shit.
Sinned. That sounds like he masturbated.
Oh, well, we don't know that.
We don't know either way.
You can't masturbate with all that fire and ice everywhere.
Right? Once it's gone, just
now
clear
we
the
can.
air. All right. So then we're at number 8.
8.
And this is locust.
Correct.
So locust, then like herds of locusts just like come through and basically eat anything that's green. And so all of the plants
anything
are
that
just gone.
The fire, hail, flies, dead rotting frogs. Also, the frogs didn't like disappear.
Right.
They just all died.
Oh,
right. That's right. They didn't get cleared away. There's dead. So there's just piles of dead
So
frogs.
we've had like stinky bloody river, stinky bloody frog piles.
Right.
all the cows are dead in the fields.
Maybe some of the flame kind of like burned all of this detritus away.
That'd be wonderful. So then number 9 is darkness. Yes.
Yeah, which I think is kind of a fun.
Yeah, that would be
respite.
fucking terrifying too.
Yeah, but it's different. It's like all these like loud shit, like fire, hail, random bugs of different sizes, and then it's just like
3 days of darkness,
silent darkness.
Yeah,
3 days. Oh man,
silent darkness. Is that was that you?
That's me.
Okay.
I will say like because we was like a year ago we had the apocalypse. We had the apocalypse like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like a year ago we had the
I mean that was in 2012, so that was like 7 years ago.
But the eclipse happened not that long ago.
Yeah.
And like it was fucking,
and I remember you going around calling it the apocalypse.
The apocalypse is happening.
We had to calm you down a lot.
Right. Yeah. I was convinced. Yeah. But no, it was eerie though, like and cold. That's the thing that got me is like how cold it got as the moon crossed.
Huh. You know, I'm not seeing a time period on this one.
Really?
I'm going to go with your 3 days, but
is 3 days not right?
It doesn't say.
Oh.
But in the middle of it, it said, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Again.
And Pharaoh basically said, like, fuck off. If I see you again, I'll kill you.
Right. And then they show up.
Which is an appropriate response.
Right.
Well, sure.
But they show up one more time and go like, all right, this is the last thing. This is our coup d'etat.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I should also say before we get to this final one, there's been like some bargaining where like one time Pharaoh's like, all right, just the men can go make your sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah. We get some trades.
Right. And they're like, well, that's not.
That's right. This entire time they're only bargaining for a feast day
to go out to the desert. Again, like Asimov said at one point that apparently in the local custom, if they were not within the boundaries of Egypt, then they were technically free.
Got it.
And so another time Pharaoh's like, okay, you all can go, but you can't bring any of your belongings or livestock. And they're like, oh, that's kind of not what we're going for.
Right.
So there's like some of that.
I forgot about that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, Moses and Aaron like come back one more time. It's like, all right, this is the last one.
Which this is the legitimately scary horror movie.
Yeah. It's like the firstborn male child? Firstborn child of every household in Egypt is going to die.
And animal.
That's right.
Spooky edition.
Weird kind of caveat that he doesn't share with the Egyptians is that if you sacrificed a lamb, took its blood and painted it over the mantle of your or not like mantle over your door, essentially, the angel of death will skip that house.
Whoa.
So basically he goes to his people and go like, all right, everybody on this night. And this is where Passover is literally, this is the celebration.
Got it.
Correct. Because the Lord passed over them.
And so like putting the blood over the door.
Yeah.
And then you had a meal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so literally angel of death comes into Egypt and just murders all of the firstborn children of every household that does not have this protection. Now, I believe, and I don't know if this is biblical, but I'm excited. It might be like animation.
He's wearing a hockey mask.
Yes, exactly. Didn't
the calls from inside the house
of the Egyptian families, like who at this point who had kind of like not necessarily switched alliances but had made friends with, were told about this, and some Egyptian families were saved.
So I'm gonna say that with my normal caveat of I read this through once. I only read as much as is fun to me. I was kind of looking for that. My memory from reading it today is that all Egyptians screwed,
Right.
all Jewish people safe. The blood thing is more of just like a symbol to God, but I think they would have been safe anyway.
Oh,
But-
really?
Yeah, but again, I don't want to reread it.
Right.
But then we have a chapter or two of the very detailed instructions as to like the specific Passover things. So I'm going to give you just a couple of the way too specific details, and just a warning: this is boring. On the 10th of this month, every man shall take for himself a lamb, according to this house of his father, a lamb for a household. And then it goes into like, if your house is too small, you can split lambs with your neighbors, blah, blah, blah. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You may take it from the sheep or the goats, which
Yeah.
I didn't remember that part.
I didn't either.
Now you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly shall kill it at twilight. They will put the blood on the two doorposts and on the lintel of the houses.
Lentil. That's the word I was trying to remember.
Then they shall eat the flesh of that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted in the fire, its head with its legs and its entrails.
Did you say herbs?
I said herbs.
Okay.
It was fun. It's King James Version, man. You shall let none of it remain until morning, and what remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire. And thus you shall eat it, with a belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste.
Put on your don't put on your slouchy pants.
I was actually kind of wondering, for modern people who take part in Passover, do they have to have a staff and sandals, or do they interpret that as like
Wear working
your
clothes.
coat?
Yeah.
Because that probably has a modern interpretation.
Probably.
Please, if you're listening to this and you know that, tweet at
Let
us.
us know.
I'm actually very curious. Like, do you have to wear a hat, a briefcase?
Yeah.
Do you have your AirPods in?
It's like we show up with our laptop.
Yeah. Anyway, but I thought that the roasting it in the fire, not boiling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of this
And
stuff.
bitter herbs, not.
Also, the bitter herbs sound kind of good.
Alan wants a little bit of that bitter herb.
Dude, they sound great. Bitter herbs could have been dandelions or horseradish.
Oh.
I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
Dandelion,
I feel like those are vastly different flavors. Like,
Yes.
ooh, but like a bitter green, like an arugula and dandelion with like some horseradish on roasted lamb.
oh no, I'm into it. Just
Jinx.
yeah, sure.
But what's funny to me is like the whole like make haste, like you don't even have time to put yeast in your bread, but you better roast this lamb all night or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
and like
you
the
don't have time to do anything else because you are busy
making the lamb.
with your animal in the fire.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Whatever.
But so that is what breaks Pharaoh. Although not really, because like he lets
Because he really loves boiled lamb.
yeah, exactly. He's like, you didn't invite me, fucking get out. No, he's basically goes like, my life is ruined because even his eldest was killed. And he's like, just get out.
Which I have a question about that. Wouldn't Pharaoh be the eldest?
Well,
I think that ruins the story.
I think
if
it's just
Pharaoh
child.
dies.
Well, I don't think none of the adults died,
Every firstborn.
but only of the children. I believe it's of.
Okay, so but what's child? 12, 18?
18. I'm going 18.
I'm going
Okay.
12 just because of Jesus.
See, that's the question.
I would say
If they have hair down there,
maybe if they've given birth to children.
but boys.
But boys.
The boys. I don't know. I don't. Again,
None of
none of
this
this
is
is
real.
real. So like logic. Anyway,
I think Pharaoh should die, but it kind of ruins the story if the villain just dies.
so regardless, he goes, get the fuck out. And they go, okay, we're gonna I have the answer we want, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
And they do. And then very quickly Pharaoh's like, no, fuck them, I'm going after them.
Well, it's because people heard that Pharaoh would let them go, and the Egyptians come to him and be like, "Hey, so you let these people
our free
go?
labor left.
That's not great."
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was like the labor force has just now been released.
The direct quote is, "Why have we done this? That we have let Israel go from serving us?"
like literally,
They forget
literally
about the
less than
plagues.
a week ago, your kid died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How did we get here?
Anyway,
Also flies.
Time
Right.
passes weirdly in the Bible.
yeah. One, and like sometimes we have no idea how long. This was like, could this have been a day?
Right, yeah,
This
sure.
could have been a month.
I mean, Moses is 80, and he was in a basket. Then
Seconds ago.
Then he killed a guy, and then there was a burning bush, and
Right.
then he was 80?
And he seems to be fine.
He worked his way up his father-in-law's
whatever.
thing. Anyway, so the Israelites are trucking, but clearly not that fast because there's a buttload of them wandering.
600,000 men.
So presumably same amount of women and children.
Probably more children.
Yeah. So let's say at least 18,
million.
probably 18 to 24,000 wandering.
600,000 men.
600,000. Sorry, 1.8 to
I would say
2.4 million.
Yeah.
Dang.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
A fuck ton. I think we can agree on a fuck ton.
a fuck ton of are just wandering. So presumably somebody is slow in that group, and everybody's moving at that speed.
Yes.
And Pharaoh took 600 choice chariots.
Oh,
Yes. I knew there would be chariots.
choice.
I'm pumped
but
about this.
I'm sorry, choice chariots.
Yes. Choice chariots.
Which, if I remember right, in like the meat selection, choice is the bottom of their quality ranking.
Free range prime chariots.
He catches up with them at the Red Sea, and so the Red Sea is a big sea.
Thank you.
Go fucking figure.
Wow.
Adam, just insight.
Yeah. Wow, Adam, I can't believe you remember that.
I know, sometimes it just comes to me.
Yeah.
And the Israelites start losing their shit because they're seeing the water on one, like it's a rock and a hard place, except it's an army and an ocean. They're stuck between an army and an ocean.
It's a sea.
Yeah. Sea.
A sea and a wet place.
Sea and yes.
Has nearly, not double, but halfway to double. What, a quarter more salinity than normal ocean. Well, there's just like not a good way to say it.
Wait, no, hold on. It's not the Dead Sea. It's the Red Sea.
Correct. But because it's kind of an inlet,
It's also high salinity.
there's more evaporation, so it's super high salinity.
Man.
We just
We're in
almost
the
lost
weeds.
Nick.
Yeah.
So anyway, they are all like Israelites. Well, we're fucked, and they're losing their shit. That we're all just gonna be murdered. Like, why? Sorry. There's quotes. Hold on. Is it like essentially like it would be better for us to stay in Egypt than to be like
Because
slaughtered?
there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness?
Right. And Moses is like, "Behold the power of God." He finally speaks.
It does. Yeah. No.
He's actually doing something.
Right. And so Egypt, like Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is actually leading the army, which is apparently a big deal, if I remember right.
Sure.
And he's like, they're bearing down on them in their choice chariots. And Moses puts his rod into the sea and fucking sea parts.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part of the Red Sea.
Yeah.
In case you these things are named fairly well.
Sure.
Turns out.
I should also interject that.
Which, as we know, is a sea. And it's big.
Right.
Yeah.
Although, okay.
High salinity.
I was going to interject something, but I need to double interject. So they're
not a
actually,
sea?
they're actually at the tiny part of it.
Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So the Red Sea is massive, but then there's this like tiny nub at the top, which is now the Suez Canal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're actually probably crossing the teeny tiny nub,
Okay.
I mean,
which is way smaller.
yeah, I still feel like
Adam, it's much easier to part.
fair. But that's like saying, like, I only brought one person back from the dead. I didn't bring like 30,000 back from the dead. It's still a big deal.
So at the normal part of the Red Sea, it's about 1,500 miles long by 150.
Well, he didn't do it vertically.
By 150 to 200 miles wide.
Oh,
That's a big sea.
that's a big sea.
And then, shoot, does it give me?
I think we've established that this is a sea
And
a
it's
large
big.
body of water.
Yeah, but it gives me the actual
It's
like
really
dimensions.
compelling content that we're producing.
All right, fuck it. The smaller part of the sea. God damn it! They
I'm
crossed the
with you.
Suez Canal.
I'm with you that it was as a narrow part.
Yeah,
And regardless,
still red though.
still red.
Still red.
Is it red or is it just named the Red Sea because of like
They
the
think it
rocks
was like
around
lichen or the soil. or
God,
something.
you
Okay.
guys.
Does it? What do you?
He asked.
So the narrowest part of this large body of water gets like.
Oh, hold on. My first interjection. Well, this one's important because
Did you say your first interjection?
I double
did it
interjected.
back.
Well, no, it's important because the Lord went before them in a pillar of cloud
Oh, I fucking forgot about the cloud.
by day so that the Egyptians couldn't see them, and then a pillar of fire at nighttime.
to light the way.
I feel like
forgot
this is
about
important.
No, this is a big part. So like but it did double duty because it like this pillar. So this pillar was actually in front of them the whole way, like as a shade because they're going through the desert.
Uh-huh.
And so, but then when they get to the Red Sea, the pillar kind of moves past them and towards the Egyptians and creates a whole full cloud system so that they kind of like gives them some time to get through.
So there you go. Now
That is important.
Now
You're right.
Moses is parting the sea, but
Great.
the Egyptians don't know.
Right. So they the Israelites are trucking across the bed.
Don't judge my interjections. Sometimes they're important.
That was a very good one. I'm
Thank
glad
you,
we
Nick.
got there.
I agree with it.
Go fuck yourself, Adam.
What? So, in the animation too, like I remember there'd be like fish flopping,
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, a whale definitely went by.
The
Yeah, yeah.
environmental
Oh, yeah.
atrocity
Oh, for
committed for this like brief moment is terrible.
Yeah, well, but like Alan's right. Like they'd be like walking and they look over and there would be like a whale going, like at an aquarium.
I was just
thing.
going to say it's exactly the aquarium tube thing
Yeah.
of like.
Join us on Patreon when we make Nick watch The Prince of Egypt.
Oh God,
I'm just kidding. I don't want to watch that. Please don't make us watch that. You know what? If 5 people join, $5 a month or more, we will make Nick watch The Prince of Egypt on Patreon.
Yeah.
Great.
I sort of hope people don't.
Yeah, I would prefer not.
That good marketing?
By the end of the year? What do we got to put a stipulation on that?
Within the week this podcast drops.
Okay. So there's also for some reason like visually it looks like a wave is like being kind of arced back from.
Yeah, and like constantly churning.
Yeah, but like
I have that image even.
Exactly.
It's not just still.
No.
It's a strong east wind.
Okay. So like the Wicked Witch of the East shows
Actually, you know what I would enjoy watching? Like fuck the Prince of Egypt, but there's some great like creationist bullshit, like trying to explain how this could have actually happened.
Well, like
from a
conspiracy?
creationist standpoint.
Oh wow.
No, like people trying to explain how
like
the
a
Bible,
documentary though.
Exactly.
Oof.
And that could be really fun.
Wait, like
oh yeah.
They're like Christian.
How much wind does it take to actually blow a hole in the sea?
but like
Oh, yeah.
So not explaining this as well it's a miracle.
Nope.
Like how God could
But
have
doesn't
used
that
science.
immediately tread on
Yes.
the like
Yes, it does.
Yes.
huh.
And how they like there's a bunch of like there's actually a bunch of chariot wheels in this part of the sea.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, I might need to find that. That sounds fun.
It does not sound like fun.
Okay,
It sounds
well, I guess I'll watch it.
yeah, this is another thing that I will tell you what I think it's about and Alan will actually watch it.
We'll just do shots every time they I don't know.
We're going to get real drunk.
Yeah.
So, well, you and I will, and Nick will just make fun of us. Anyway, so we're like, they're charging through. They get through, and like, as they're almost through, the cloud that God was
Smoke screen, yeah.
smoke screening dissipates, and the Israelites again like go like, oh, we're fucked. And Moses is like, no, and so Pharaoh gets his people just charge through this, like go through the gap, get them, and as they're going through it, Moses like. And the whole thing just closes.
Well, first, God took off their chariot wheels.
Really?
In the cartoon, God makes it real muddy all of a sudden. You remember that? And they get stuck?
Yes.
Yeah. But in the Bible, it just says God took off their chariot wheels.
Like, gone?
I guess.
I would
so
love
they
that idea.
drove
It's
them
like,
with difficulty.
like the wheels, yeah. Ping, and it's like
Flat tire.
It's like a
well, I was saying, like
bewitched
literally
practical
like
effect.
existed, like no longer existed. It's like they were there, no longer. Yeah, like bewitched. Anyway, so they're like the Egyptians are trekking through. Ocean crashes back in, or sea. I'm sorry, crashes back in, and like just kills all of the Egyptian army.
Oh, good.
Not so much as one of them remained.
Not so much.
And then we have a whole chapter of the Song of Moses, and then another whole chapter of the Song of Miriam.
Hold on, is this Moses dropping his mixtape, like trying to get us to?
This is like the part in The Lord of the Rings where there's like Hobbit songs.
Oh yeah.
Is this like at the end of Return of the Jedi when they're like knocking on like the
Ewoks?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, that's
at least
the story.
Wait, did you say Song of Miriam?
Yeah, it's his sister.
His sister.
So at least at the end of the story,
She actually,
like everyone
Miriam
dies.
actually finished, is fairly prominent, like around. It's mostly Aaron and Moses running the show. It's Moses running the show with Aaron backing him up and kind of holding him back at times. And Miriam is kind of this like voice of reason or like
occasionally
empathy.
I was gonna say I don't think we've talked about her at all.
I think I've skipped over her. She is around, and she's actually
realist.
mentioned. Yeah,
and now we start them just wandering around the desert.
Yeah, which we'll
probably cover some of it, but
I don't know. Like, is there much?
There's a couple
Manna?
things. Yeah, we got that. We got that golden calf.
We got commandments coming up.
Commandments. Yeah, definitely commandments.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but we're gonna take some break from Moses.
Yeah,
because I'm done reading Exodus for a while. It's so long. Don't make me read Exodus anymore.
No.
A damn fine Odyssey. We'll be right back here on the King James Virgin. And we're back here on the King James Virgin.
Hey, thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us at KJVPod on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with whatever we're doing. And actually, go out right as this episode ends. Follow us on Instagram if you're not already. And if you are, thanks. You can take a week off knowing that you've done your good podcasting deed for this week.
Good fucking work.
Yeah, good job. Thanks to Mascaras and Resurrection Records for the use of our theme song, Kexari, off the album El Moran. And this week's Resurrection Records is Nico Bones. So stick around for that. You can find this song and every song that we've ever featured on our website, kingjamesvirgin.com.
That'll do it for us this week. Until next week, hope for gnats, prepare for lice. Happy Halloween.
Produced
by Sonic Bazaar.